Hey, Dr. Mike here. Did you know that there is a silent thief, which is the leading cause of blindness over 60? Stay tuned to find out what it is and learn how to beat the statistic.
You're listening to Live Foreverish, a show dedicated to helping you live just a little longer. Here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Crystal Gossard.
All right, welcome to Live Foreverish. January is National Glaucoma Awareness Month, Dr. Crystal.
This is one that I can appreciate.
We don't talk about glaucoma as much as we do like cataracts. I know we've done several shows on that, and also, of course, macular degeneration. But in the teaser, as I said, a lot of people call this the silent thief, right? Because it can develop slowly over many years.
And there are no symptoms.
No symptoms, not much problem, and all of a sudden, boom.
Right.
It kicks in, and it is the leading cause of blindness over 60. That's surprising.
It's a little scary for me, at least. This is a topic that we talk about with my family. One, because my mom and dad have glaucoma.
Oh.
Two, I'm African American, and it is prevalent in our community. Over the age of 40 is where you kind of see the risk increase in the African American community, and no one's really talking about it. So yeah, hopefully we can spread the word.
But what's interesting is there are some nutrients that can help, especially early on, and we're gonna talk about that. First of all, what is glaucoma? I mean, if you want to make it real simple, it's like high blood pressure in the eye.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's just kind of a way to think of it. I mean, obviously it's more complex than that, but at the end of the day, your eye has a lot of fluid. There's a certain pressure you need in the eye for the eye to function, but if that pressure gets too high, you can damage the retina, you can damage the optic nerve, and that's where you start having visual problems, right?
Yes, and that optic nerve, it's a part of the brain. It's a part of the.
It's a direct. A lot of people don't know this, right? If you do like an anatomy class when I used to, right, in medical school, you could literally touch the optic nerve from the eye and run it all the way right into the brain.
Wow. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but it's something worth sticking a pin in, is that doctors are starting to view glaucoma as a neurological disease, kind of looking at just inflammation and mitochondrial dysfunction and somehow
makes sense.
Tying it to that.
Because the blindness is linked to the optic nerve damage, and the optic nerve is a nerve, right. I mean, the initial, event might be the high eye pressure, but the result is nerve damage. So it kind of makes sense,
right,
to categorize it that way. Now, there's a couple of different types. We have open angle, and we have what is called closed glaucoma, or angle closed glaucoma, right? Open is the most common.
Right, 90% of the glaucoma cases will be open angle glaucoma.
And very few are this angle closure glaucoma. So let's focus on open. Yeah. Because I think that's, most people are going to be dealing with that. Again, increased pressure in the eye. It's silent. It could start to build.
Right.
I mean, you don't even know it, right? Just kind of like blood pressure, the silent. So blood pressure is the silent. Systemic blood pressure, high blood pressure, is the silent killer. The high blood pressure in the eye is the silent thief.
Well, one thing I think you don't often notice the changes in your peripheral vision. Like, I think if it affected central vision more, maybe people would say, hey, something's going on here. I can't really see. Yeah. But I think it's also silent because, it primarily affects, if you're driving, obviously you kind of need to see what's going on in the periphery, and people don't really pay attention to that.
So what's happening with the open glaucoma or open angle glaucoma is there's two things. We often see increased production of fluid, and then that fluid's not draining properly, right? You have drainage canals that dump into your sinuses, right? And then when that happens and that fluid goes down a little bit, the cells that make the fluid make a little more, and it drains properly. And then you make a little more, and it drains properly. That's normal. But what's happening here in open angle is the drainage can actually get into the canals, It's deeper. It's in these smaller, what are you going to call them? Tributaries.
Oh, that's a nice one.
That's where there's inflammation, there's damage, and that's where the blockage occurs. Now, what's interesting is as the ocular fluid goes into those canals and it gets blocked up there, the initial response is by the eye is to make more fluid. Now, at some point, when it gets real blocked up, they don't. But they're sensitive to how much fluid is in the eye. So at first, the pressure when you first diagnose it can be really high.
Now, when you were doing your rotations in med school, did you have to do ophthalmology? And
yes.
Was that a part of it?
Yes.
And did you see a lot of glaucoma?
No, I mean, we saw a lot of cataracts, obviously a lot of macular degeneration. Those were the classic ones. I did learn how to look into the eye for pressure.
Ooh.
I don't remember how to do it, but we did. Come on, that's 25 years ago, right? It was even longer than that. Yeah, so you do learn how to do all that. I got to be honest. I do remember the specialist, the attending, doing it and seeing. See that canal. See that white stuff right there.
Yeah, it's like some border or something.
Yeah, I didn't see it. So, I'm like, yeah, there it is.
I'm sure the technology now has improved where the cameras are better.
I'm sure. But there is this way of looking at where these canals are, and if there's this whitish border type thing, that's open angle glaucoma.
Right.
Yeah, I never saw it, but he did.
Well, so one point that we can make is, go see your eye doctor.
And that should be regular. Right? Eye, teeth, and body should be regular appointments, right?
And then the other thing is don't skip the dilation because they can see it better,
Absolutely.
right?
See, people hate that, though.
Oh.
And then you got to wear those funny glasses.
I know.
Yeah, but it is true. If you do allow the doctor to dilate your eyes, the exam is 1,000 times easier. And quite often, if the doctor really feels there's something there, they're gonna make you dilate your eyes because that's really the only way to do it. So basically, open angle glaucoma, it's a drainage problem. It's further into the tributaries, whereas closed angle is further upstream, if you will, the blockage. But the most common one is in those tributaries. It could be inflammation. It could be past infection. There's a lot of theories. We don't really know exactly what's going on, but it's probably some sort of past damage from something. Yeah. So those are your different types. There's other weird ones. There's congenital, there's pigmentary, there's traumatic. Those are pretty
right.
rare.
So I'll have to tell you a short story. Secondary, and when you say, other causes, these are secondary to something else that's going on in the body that's causing pressure in the eye. So you remember I had uveitis.
I did.
Off and on for a little over a year. And that was one thing they continued. I was always tested for glaucoma in many ways because of the corticosteroids
that you were using,
the drops that I was using, and glaucoma is
they
a
are
side
connected
effect.
to that. Yeah,
right.
You think of it this way: even in systemic blood pressure, high blood pressure, right? There's primary and secondary.
Yeah.
Primary systemic high blood pressure, we don't really know what causes it, but there's secondary causes like kidney failure. Right? Steroid use, right? Certain HIV drug. I mean, those were, and it's kind of the same in the eye. Yeah. We have a primary open angle that we don't really know, past damage, whatever. Yeah. But if you can identify that this person's on steroids and they got glaucoma, that's probably secondary.
And that includes inhalers.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yes. So that's, if you have asthma, if you use an inhaler, then make sure you get your routine eye exam.
That's a lot. There's asthma is a pretty prevalent thing in the United States. Now, what are the first signs? Again, no symptoms early on. That's the problem. That's the silent thief. Tell us what you think. Where do we see as it gets closer to a true diagnosis?
Yeah, late stages, you start seeing central vision impairments. And maybe that's the time where people who don't routinely visit their eye doctor may start noticing, hey, something's going on with my vision. And then they go to the eye doctor. And unfortunately, those late stages, there's not much that can be done.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. That's why I think it's the leading, one of those leading causes of blindness.
If you're going in already with blind spots, people also complain of flashy lights, stuff like that, because the retina's being hurt. And when the retina starts to peel and get hurt, you get little flashy stuff, right? And so if that's too late.
Yeah.
That's almost like going in to be checked for systemic hypertension when you're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
It's too late, right? You want to get it early. And so what do you do if it's silent? Yearly eye exams.
Right, because there is no cure.
Yeah, no cure. We have some nutrients that might help. We got some research. At the end of the day, though, it's really all about we got to prevent this. Right?
Yeah.
Or at least catch it early, and some of these nutrients and meds might have a chance.
It slows it down, the progression.
People at risk. Run us through that.
Right. People who are over 60, particularly Hispanic men and women, African Americans. It strikes earlier, progresses faster, and people with diabetes, people with high blood pressure, of course, eye injury, steroid use. And so those are the people who are at risk.
Yeah. I wonder if it's more, is it possible glaucoma is connected to sugar issues more?
Oh, yes. There's a study that we have here that included over 2 million men and women aged 40 years and older, found that people who had diabetes had a 35% greater risk of open-angle glaucoma than individuals who did not have diabetes. So there is a connection.
It makes you think oxidative stress. It makes you think glycation on the proteins on those cells on the canal. Something right there is going on. And as you said, high blood pressure overall and elevated lipids. So, treatment for this, there are prescription eye drops that can slow progression. Surgery and laser treatments can help if it's a little more advanced. But as you said, it's all just about slowing progression at the end of the day, right?
That's right.
So let's get into some of the nutrients because there's some good research here.
Yes, some research that I would like to share. One is a large study published last year. Well, last month for us. This is January 2023, if you're listening. December 2022 revealed an association between higher intakes of vitamins A, C, and E and a 27% lower risk of developing glaucoma in comparison with consuming lower amounts of those vitamins. And it was only when all 3 vitamins were consumed in higher amounts. Yeah. So that's A, C, and E.
A makes sense. Yeah. Carotenoid-based, right? Great for the eye. Carotenoids overall. That's next on our list, as a matter of fact. Vitamin C, protecting against oxidative stress.
Yes,
something
that's
there.
What I'm thinking.
Vitamin E is good for cell repair, fat layer repair, maybe something in there with vitamin E. So that A and C make a lot of sense. E is that one I'm not sure.
Well, when I think about E, I also think about the antioxidant circle of life.
Oh, let's hear this.
You know where I'm going with this, hopefully. So
take some notes.
Antioxidants help each other out.
They do.
Right. And
I like where you're going.
Vitamin E is one of those antioxidants that help to support and keep CoQ10 alive and active and able to perform its antioxidant role. And so if you start kind of putting that together and thinking about glaucoma from a neurological perspective, mitochondrial health perspective, CoQ10 is one that is kind of being researched with glaucoma, and then vitamin E helping to support CoQ10's action.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, even us just theorizing and kind of really guessing, we've mentioned oxidative stress several times already, right? And CoQ10 is one of your most powerful antioxidants you got in your body.
That's right.
So maybe we should take some CoQ10 too.
I think so. CoQ10, some PQQ.
Oh yeah. And now you may have to explain PQQ.
Okay. First, do they need to know what it stands for?
No, just pyrroloquinoline.
Oh, that was good,
I don't think
Dr.
that's exactly
Mike.
right.
No,
actually.
that was it.
Oh, it is? Okay.
So it's an antioxidant, far more powerful in its antioxidant ability than even vitamin C and some of the antioxidants that we
PQQ.
think, right?
Yeah.
And it helps to support new mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, helping that cell to function more efficiently.
Yeah. And again, if you're talking oxidative stress, that usually comes with mitochondrial dysfunction. CoQ10 is powerful, but it needs a place to go, which is the mitochondria.
Right.
And if you got a bunch of dead mitochondria, where's the CoQ10 going,
That's
right?
right.
So really, PQQ is kind of like that piece that really comes first, if you think about it. Build the powerhouses, load them up with CoQ10, add some vitamin E to keep it going.
Sounds like a plan to
I
help
think we got
with
a study
cellular
right there.
regeneration. Even because you think what's happening is there's injury, that pressure, you're damaging that optic nerve. So the body has natural repair mechanisms. So maybe you can kind of slow things down.
Yeah. Other carotenoids make sense. Colored pigmented antioxidants.
100%.
Zeaxanthin, mesozeaxanthin, lutein.
Yes.
We know lutein, right? I mean, those totally make sense. Pine bark. Specifically, pine bark mixed with something called bilberry, right? Mm-hmm. What about that?
Yeah, that is one of the emerging nutritional combinations that have been shown to really help to support healthy pressure in the eye, to even lower pressure when the pressure is elevated. These are antioxidants. And in the beginning, Dr. Mike, when you talked about the fluid in the eye and some of those drains being clogged, what these nutrients help to do is may reduce the production of some of that fluid.
Yeah.
And they seem to work well with prescription medications, which that's what we like. We're not anti-prescription medications.
No,
there's a role.
We've never said that. We're more integrated. We're whatever works best, right? And if the combination works, then the combination works.
Yeah, so one of the main prescription eye drops commonly prescribed is latanoprost. It's a type of prostaglandin. It slows the progression of disease. And there's a study that I love to talk about. I'm sure you've seen this study as well, Dr. Mike, that compared this combination of pine bark and bilberry to the prescription medication. But also in this study, there were 3 groups. One group only had the nutrients. The other group only had the prescription eye drops. The third group had both.
Had both, yeah. Interesting.
And so, of course, the prescription worked faster. It lowered pressure in about 4 weeks.
Well, that's prescriptions. They hit hard, which is why you get your side effects. Because they hit so hard, they change metabolism so fast, right? Okay.
So, rapid drop in pressure, 28% in 4 weeks. The nutrient-only group took a little longer, but 6 weeks, a couple weeks longer. There was about a 24% reduction. So
it's pretty good.
Comparable, just took a little longer. But the combination at 4 weeks, you saw that same kind of 28% reduction, but leading up to 24 weeks, so that's at 6 months, there was a 40% reduction. And you did not see
in
that
the combo. In the
combo. At in the prescription only, it reduced it fast, about 28%, and then it stopped.
And it just kind of, that was it.
So, so the study continued. They continued
didn't see
to
any
use
real
it,
improvement.
but didn't see any.
Okay. But the combo
continued to see improvement up until the duration of that study, the
pine
24
bark,
weeks.
bilberry, and the prescription eye drop, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that, and again, your best bet for the most optimal efficacy is early treatment, right?
Yes.
You can't wait. Like with systemic high blood pressure, if you got the kidney disease already, you've waited too long.
That's so true, Dr. Mike.
So with glaucoma, it's the same thing. You got to get yearly eye exams. If you're in the high risk group, definitely yearly, please.
Yes.
And if you see any signs, if your doctor sees any signs, show them some of this research, or her, whoever that is, right? Because a lot of them really don't know this.
Yeah.
They don't know about the bilberry or
Very
the pine bark.
true. Just a quick mention. This is something that my mom has incorporated, PEA. It's a type of fatty acid. There's some emerging research showing that can also be supportive with helping with the pressure in the eye.
I wonder if that's a lot used for pain, but also is it part of maybe a repair process? You might even think about post-inflammatory compounds that can help heal inflammation.
Right.
So there's, I think we're getting closer to understanding what's really going on in that primary glaucoma. A lot of great information here. I think the takeaway is know your risk. Get your eyes checked. Remember, it's your eyes, your teeth, and your body.
Yeah.
That needs to be yearly.
And take the whole family.
Make it a family event.
At the family reunion, let's all go to the eye doctor.
I don't know if I do that, but yeah, keep that in mind. And if there's any issues, start treating it right away, of course, with your doctor helping you with that. Dr. Crystal?
Yes.
Great
Dr.
show.
Mike.
Thoroughly enjoyed that. I learned some stuff. Don't forget at liveforeverish.com, there are a lot of other episodes. Please download. And when you do, like, share, comment, right? And then subscribe so you never miss a show. As a matter of fact, at liveforeverish.com, it's the 1-2 punch.
Yes, join the family.
Join the family by giving us your email address. You'll get a lot of great information, life extension newsletters, all that kind of stuff. Keep you up to date. And then, of course, from there, you can subscribe to your favorite place you listen to podcasts.
Yes.
That's liveforeverish.com. I'm Dr. Mike. Thanks for listening.